This is AVIOT, Atypical Voices in Our Time, the official podcast of Chemistry Productions. That's spelled K3MISTRY Productions, a media education company.
So go a little something like this. That's AVIOT.
What's going on, everyone? It's the AVIOT podcast. I am your gracious co-host, Jay Stokes, joined by Koya and Jay Random. We are about to get in it today. What's happening, y'all?
Chilling. What's going on?
All right. So we had a discussion prior to the show starting, and we were talking about colorism within the Black community. And Random was bringing up the 50 Cent, Lil Wayne conversation. Random, did you want to talk about it? Because Koya hasn't been caught up with it yet. Or did you want me to explain what happened?
I want you to explain, and then I can tell you my side.
Okay. Basically, 50 Cent and Lil Wayne, they had a conversation via video chat. And 50 Cent was pretty much saying that he prefers like lighter skinned women or women that look more exotic over your typical Black women, dark skinned women, what have you. And Lil Wayne was just keying with him and laughing about it. And I'm sitting over here saying like, dude, you got a dark skin or chocolate daughter. And you over here like laughing about that? Like 50 Cent making those statements?
Like they made me the girl, she comes from, her background is so different from theirs that he's like, what? So tell me how it was. Like, and it's so different that you pull up at her crib and they got the Ferraris there. This is why they get mad, they get angry. You see a lot of sisters, they go, oh, you fucking with this kind of girl or that kind of girl. That shit is exotic.
Stupid.
That shit look a lot different from the shit that you see in the neighborhood all the time. It looks like that shit look like it came off a boat, baby. Goddamn, you don't like that, motherfucker? You don't like that? You go, goddamn, what's the matter with you? The shit feels like something foreign. It feels like something that you can't just get. So in some kind of ways, it is interesting to explore. You know what I'm saying? But they get mad, they get angry. How did you end up with this motherfucker or this, that? I'm like, huh?
For real. They get real
I just look at
upset.
it like, oh, look at this angry. And then my instincts always makes me defensive. So I go, look at this angry Black motherfucker. Get the fuck out of here, bitch. You're trying to fuck up the whole vibe. You understand what I'm saying to you? Because you're going, no, I know what the fuck you doing, bitch.
So I thought it was inappropriate. And I sent it to y'all in the group chat. And Random, go ahead, take it away.
Nah, so, I had a talk with my wife, and basically I was like, hey, listen, at the end of the day, I'm not surprised at what 50 said. And also, hey, listen, I can't get mad at what he likes, but I know what I like. It's kind of like, it is what it is. Like, it didn't really affect me nor bother me. We all know it's because of money that you're allowed to have different, I want to say selections, like we go into a meat market, but
it is what it is.
for a different variety of women, because we all know if it was Curtis Jackson or AKA Boo Boo on the block, he wouldn't be able to have variety of women to choose from. So it's kind of like,
he's not attractive.
Yeah, exactly. So it didn't really bother me per se. But the only part that bothered me the most was when he was saying that Black women are angry. And I didn't like that part because I think a lot of men, or men in general, that say Black women are angry, they need to tell the full story on why they're angry. They're angry because of something you did. You did it. You know what I'm saying? It's not like they walking around with the permanent bitch face. Nah. It's something you did that made them angry. They were probably happy.
You wouldn't have gotten with them.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't like how he actually tried to say Black women are too angry. That's why he don't mess with them, because it's like, nah, dude, if they angry, it's because of something you did. They're not walking around just being angry. Because
he's
that's not the
ignorant.
case.
So I'm sure he done made a lot of Black women angry. He's ignorant, he's childish, he's immature. Like, there's a number of words to describe him. So yeah, people around you probably are angry because they're sick of your shit anyway. But don't speak for everybody.
Yeah, so you know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm looking at it like, yo, I'm not surprised. He's not the first entertainer or athlete, but he's not an athlete, so entertainer, that actually has a different variety to pick from. So of course they're going to pick from that variety, but not understanding that it's because of who you are that you get to do that. So
like, what's his name? Quality Control, whatever the guy name is that runs Quality Control. He always gets these really pretty women. And I look at him like, oh my God, who's going to lay in the bed with him for a check? Like, these men look crazy, most of them. Like, they look crazy. A lot of rappers are ugly or they sad. They got some shit going on. But they get the most beautiful women in the world. And like, do you really think she likes you for you?
Oh, wow.
Exactly.
You got to be kidding me.
Really. You know, so that's why I was like, it didn't piss me off. The only part that really pissed me off was how he was trying to say that he don't mess with black women because they're angry. And I think that is just a bad representation of black women because that's not the case. Why they angry?
He was just messing with the dark-skinned girl from Black Ink Chicago, I think. The one I used to date for. He was just with her. Like, right before he got with Cuban Link. So how you switch up that fast? He probably did something to make her upset.
Exactly.
Now all of us are angry? Come on now.
And guess what? And if Cuban Links ain't angry, she ain't angry because she's tolerating your bullshit for that check.
Right.
See, majority of women got standards, and they don't give a fuck about who you are, how much money you got. You know,
right.
It's probably
it's a certain group of women.
It's probably the exotic ones that don't give a hell. You
right.
thought about that? They can tolerate that.
They prep themselves for that. You know, like they go to certain clubs, they go to certain events, like, you know, they go where the ballers play. That's what they want. So that's what they go chasing. Like, they don't really like your black ass. They like what you have. They want the access.
Exactly. She don't want to work. Listen, I wouldn't be surprised she get pregnant soon.
Okay. Like that little Filipino he had the baby by. And then what happened?
You know it.
They're done.
You see that, right? They're done.
Lil Wayne, too. He can't keep a girl. And I like Lil Wayne as a rapper, even though he a little drug addict now. But I like him as a rapper, and that's disappointing. He shouldn't have said that. Knowing Regine, like, that's your firstborn. You basically talking about your own child as well.
Yeah, because I think his other kids are not
all like
dark
all of them.
I didn't think so.
All of them are like, except for Regine. So how you think that made her feel? Like, people don't look at the whole picture. Like, it's not all fun and games, you know?
He was giggling.
And you came from a black woman, looking like a roach.
Oh, no.
Bad roach at that.
So Coy,
you spray raid on it, he just sizzling around.
Exactly.
Coy, I wanted to ask, with with you being the black woman on this show, when you hear statements coming from black male celebrities like that, because we've seen it often, how does that make you feel, and what does that make you want to do in response, or does it make you want to do anything?
You know, stuff like that doesn't affect me directly because I feel like it's ignorance involved there. You know, sometimes people say stuff for clout just to like get a laugh out of it. Not really necessarily feeling that way, but I do feel like black men saying stuff like that in a public platform is why other races feel like they don't have to respect the black woman. Like, look, your own men don't even like you. Your own men don't even care about you. Your own men say you're angry. So you think we want to be bothered with you? So they're like setting the tone and like keeping the stereotype, you know, alive and well. So I don't really appreciate it, but they're going to say what they're going to say and date who they're going to date. I don't want either one of the Negroes anyway.
Okay.
Exactly. But I also feel, you know, Corey, you said something that's smart. I also feel that that's how the others could come in, perpetrate, and take ours because they're like, hey, look, they don't appreciate you, but I do. Like, right. Whatever.
Talking all nice. Letting them get a 401k. You know, that's what white men do to black women. They're like, let me financially help you. You know what I'm saying? Because most of us might not be in a good position anyway. So they, you know, oh, look at how he treated you. I won't treat you like that. Let's go to this and do that. You know, they be gassing it. But black men with money need to not be like so ignorant. They only like you because you have money. So just be clear. Because when the checks stop coming, you ain't going to see none of them exotic girls. You're going to be right back fucking with Keisha and Brenda and them. Because they're going to hold you down regardless. So don't even do us like that while you up. Because when you come down, it's going to come right back to us. So don't play yourself.
So some things I wanted to mention here. First off, I'm not a fan of calling women exotic because exotic is something we call like an animal or a plant.
Damn.
I don't really think that's a good way to describe any woman, period. The second, I have a problem with black men with a platform or black women with a platform, anyone with a platform who is black, saying these damaging things to the black community because a lot of people look at you as the voice of the black community. And we know that black kids consume more media than any other demographic of kids. And so they're going to be influenced by this mindset, by this mentality. We're having this surge of black empowerment, pro-blackness coming up right now, and we cannot afford to have people in the public eye saying these things that's going to influence our kids in a negative direction or make black women hate black men, make black men turn away from black women even more. So I have a big problem with that. And celebrities do not speak for the majority of black Americans.
Nope.
There are plenty of black Americans out here or black people in America and throughout the world who adore and appreciate black women, whatever shade, dark skin. And we were talking before the show, I was saying how I love dark skinned women myself. So they don't speak for the majority of us. I just want to make that clear.
Exactly.
LeBron would never say nothing like that. D-Wade would never say anything like that. Them two fools are ignorant. Lil Wayne is on drugs. 50 Cent is just a clown.
Yeah.
And just to circle back to something we talked about last week, we were talking about August Alsina. I want to say to people out there, be careful of who your celebrity crushes are or who you're trying to go after. Like, people think August Alsina is attractive, but look what he's doing. He's going after a married woman. He going after a married woman, though. So it's like, you going after the person who's attractive, who's making wrong decisions. You think so? You think so?
Get a man listen now.
Yo, how about this? Why is it taking Jada so long to go on her red carpet?
Okay.
Or the red table?
Because she's trying to get the right language together. That's why.
I mean, it's taking forever to go on that red table.
Carpet. Roll that thing out, right? How long does it take to set up a goddamn red table and some chairs? 2 minutes? We could all did that.
Yo, she has
to get the right script.
Yo, listen, you know this shit filmed in her living room, so.
It is?
Nah, I'm only joking, but I'm just saying.
I'm about
it
to
probably
say,
is.
I'm real upset. Okay. Yeah, he was joking.
So, speaking of black celebrities, I wanted to turn to this black celebrity, Kanye West, saying he's running for president for 2020. What? I just want to get y'all thoughts about that, because some things that he laid out, it's funny because Kanye he will say a lot of outlandish things, but there's like a bit of truth in there when he's speaking. So it's like, it just confuses you sometimes. So I just want to ask, what do you feel about his presidential run? Man.
He's not qualified. He's just talking. He's not qualified.
Yeah, I agree. He's not qualified. Like, nobody got time for that shit. I think he's like Ralph Nader. I think he's like Ralph Nader. He's like a plant-based. They gonna put him in so he can take votes away from Biden, because we all know he don't have a chance. Shit, Bloomberg got a better chance than Kanye right about now.
Right, and Bloomberg sat there and wasted all them coins, and he right back looking
500
sad.
million.
He could have kept that.
Here's a thing, though.
I think he did it for a tax break.
Possibly. Here's the thing, though. You say that Kanye is unqualified. We could say the same thing for Arnold Schwarzenegger, our current president, Donald Trump. We could say that for Ronald Reagan. They were all celebrities.
Yes.
That's true. The only problem is we don't got time for the foolery right about now. He could run in 24. All right? We don't got
what
time
did Ronald Reagan do?
He was an
actor.
Yeah. He's an actor. Yeah, I know. He's a freaking actor.
Yo, I got to the neck roll like that.
Yo, my thing is this. I agree, Jay Stokes. You know, the other people you just mentioned was not qualified, but we don't got time for the games now. Like, we only got one goal. Get Orange Man out. Because Orange Man, I'm telling you, if he lasts 4 more years, I would not be surprised if he just starts saying the N-word.
Negroes.
And be like, they say it.
He'll say it.
Trump don't give.
You give him 4 more years, he's gonna say it.
He's a thug. I ain't gonna hold you there. He don't give a fuck.
He is. Here's some things that he said, though, with his platform or what he's planning to run under. He said that first, he's never voted in his life. Wow. So I'm like, okay. He also said that he's suspicious of the coronavirus vaccine because vaccines may be the mark of the beast. So I kind of get where he's coming from there, because vaccines in the black community haven't been the black community has not had a good relationship with the healthcare system throughout U.S. history.
That's correct.
So I can understand his skepticism with the coronavirus vaccine. He also said that he believes Planned Parenthoods have been placed inside cities by white supremacists to do the devil's work. And once again, I'm sitting there like, even though it sounds crazy, he has somewhat of a point when you think about...
That sounds crazy to me. That all sounds pretty logical. That's the most sense he made in years to me.
I agree.
Right. Even though I really don't think he's a good candidate, and he said he's no longer supporting Trump, he still makes some good points. The last good point I thought he made was he said he's okay with taking some votes from the Democratic nominee, Joe Biden, because he said to say that the black vote is Democratic is a form of racism and white supremacy. I was like, he got a point, because you can't just say, oh.
We do feel like we're tied to Democrats because we are black. They have taught us that. But the Democrats only talk to us once every 4 years. Other than that, they don't give a damn about us.
Yes, sir.
That's true.
No, they don't. No. I totally agree with everybody, but I still feel like, again, I don't got time for Kanye. Kanye need to sit his ass down, come back in 4 more years, man. Come back when we don't give a fuck.
I'm with you. 2020 is ghetto enough.
Listen, we need to get Orange Man out. Because as far as I know, I've never saw a president lose and then come back 4 years later. I don't think he can. So if that's
Right.
the case, we just need them out. That's all we need. We need them out.
Yeah, whoever votes for Kanye needs their ass whooped because that is like a joke. It's just to
Oh,
like,
please. A lot of people will vote for him.
You better vote for Forky from what's the Toy Stories? Whatever.
I guarantee you, he might take a lot of votes. I guarantee if he stays in.
That's why
because of pure popularity. It's just because of popularity. People love Kanye. People love Kanye.
So irrational. He's so irrational. Whoever does that will be crazy. But we'll see. He ain't get my vote. Shit.
He ain't get my vote.
I'm gonna give it to Joe Biden for
real,
but I ain't got no choice.
Thank you. You said it the best. I don't even want to give it to Joe Biden, but I damn sure ain't giving it to Kanye.
Yeah, our backs are against the wall. We're just gonna give it to Joe.
Yes, by default.
Terrible. Speaking of backs against the wall,
you know why though, Jay Stokes? You know why, Jay Stokes? Because we got an agenda. Orange Man got to go. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's the group consensus at this point. Orange Man got to go.
That's the group. Yo, listen.
We just gonna ride out.
As long as we stay on page, stay on task, we did what we need to do.
I don't know why people keep fronting on Bernie Sanders though. I can't. I know he old, but Trump old too.
I know.
And I know he's a little angry. Now he's angry, but he I don't know. We should have just I don't know.
That ship has sailed. That ship has sailed.
All right,
so
I'm gonna let go and let God. I got it.
I saw Bernie talking today. Bernie was slobbing. I mean, he was spitting. It just looked old. Man, he made like an old man who needed a bed. I wasn't there for it.
He should have already been our president, but we're gonna move along.
Yeah. Anyways, as I was saying, speaking of backs against the wall, and I'm glad y'all brought up Bernie Sanders because Bernie Sanders is Jewish. A popular football player, Mr. Deshaun Jackson, he's actually been in the news because he posted something on his Instagram stories. It was a quote from Hitler talking about Jewish people and blacks. And now everybody's calling him anti-Semitic. So let me read the quote.
Who?
Deshaun Jackson. From
where?
He's a former Redskins wide receiver. I think he's with the Eagles now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Okay. What did he say?
So he posted on his Instagram stories a quote from Hitler saying, "Because the white Jews know that the Negroes are the real children of Israel, and to keep Americans secret, the Jews will blackmail America." I hate that word, by the way, blackmail. I hate that word. We're just going to say ostracize. "They will extort America. Their plan for world domination won't work if the Negroes know who they were. The white citizens of America will be terrified to know that all this time they've been mistreating and discriminating against and lynching the children of Israel." So people took that quote and they said, oh, he's anti-Semitic because he quoted Hitler. Like that quote is allegedly from Hitler. And so, Hitler and the Jews don't have a good relationship. Obviously, we know history here. And Deshaun Jackson first, he said, hey, just to let y'all know, y'all took my thing out of context. I'm not trying to support Hitler or anything. And then he came out and issued a formal apology. And now Steven Jackson actually came out and Steven Jackson said, I agree with what Deshaun Jackson posted. And then people were asking him to apologize. And Steven Jackson doubled down and said, I'm not going to apologize. Here's my issue. And before I let y'all go, here's my issue. Just because you mention Hitler or you mention anything about Jewish people does not mean you are anti-Semitic.
No.
Like, people need to understand. You can mention a quote and you can mention Jewish people without being dubbed anti-Semitic. We talk about George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, the Confederate soldiers all the time. But do we say that those who support those people or believe in their concepts are racist? Do we ever say that? Like, what is there a consensus on that? Black people may feel that. Exactly. So my thing is, this quote that Deshaun Jackson, I actually understand where he's coming from with this quote, as do you, Coy. And I don't think that is anti-Semitic because he highlighted that part. He's not saying he agreed with Hitler, but agree with Hitler's stances. But what allegedly Hitler said right there, he's saying that he agreed with. So, Coy, I'll let you take it away.
No, I agree. I don't think he was trying to support Hitler in any way. He was really speaking to the white supremacists. Like, you all are over here attacking children of God for their skin being brown. He's just speaking up for black people. I feel like I don't think he was like, oh, I stand with Hitler. Everything he did was right. But nobody got offended by what he said, but white people, because it's the truth. Mm-hmm. They don't like the truth. They never want to acknowledge the truth. Everything about them is a lie. So that's why they're mad. People don't like the truth. That's what it comes down to.
Random?
I mean, I agree with you guys. It wasn't really the fact that him being anti, what is it called, Semitic? I'm all over the place.
Random.
Anti-Semitic.
Yeah, that's why I ain't repeated either. I was like, shit, not right now.
You know, when it's all said and done, you know, in the Bible they actually say that the black people are the original Jewish people. So yeah, I guess in so many ways, I guess the bad part was that, well, not really the bad part, but the part that gave people the energy to say this is wrong is because he's quoting Hitler. And you're right. It shouldn't be the fact that he's quoting Hitler that is wrong. And he even stressed the fact that, you know, he doesn't agree with what Hitler was saying, but just listen to the quote. Because a lot of time people don't realize, you know, history has been washed so bad that we as black people don't even know how important we are in history. We just think history started when we came over here. No, history's been, history for us has been around since Egypt, man.
Man.
You know, we built pyramids with no machines. We built lights. I'm not built lights.
Everything.
We had lights. You know what I'm saying? We had lights in the, candles, but we had electricity back, or a form of electricity back.
Oh, we probably did. Yeah. We probably did have lights, but when the Greeks came and took over different parts of Africa, they destroyed everything. So we probably already had everything in place.
We had modern civilization pretty much, even though it was back then. Everything was pretty civilized. But you know they ain't gonna give people no credit. You know how they do us.
But at the end of the day, Jay Stokes,
everything. Period.
That right. If you had quoted that from Minister Farrakhan, they would have said he was wrong. So you're right.
Oh, Minister Farrakhan.
You can't say anything about Jewish people. You really can't.
You can't. And the thing is, I remember one time, I think Minister Farrakhan was on the Phil Donahue show. I don't know if you ever saw that show back from like the 80s, early 90s. So he was on there and they were criticizing him for saying Hitler was a great man, right?
You called Hitler a great man, and now you're going to tell us that you didn't mean great as necessarily positive? I mean, for a man who... you did say that, didn't you? You're not going to deny you said Hitler was a great...
Let's put that in context.
Okay.
Some Jewish leaders likened me to a black Hitler.
They did.
I took umbrage at that remark.
That's true.
I said the only way you can compare me with Hitler is that Hitler rose Germany up from the ashes. We are trying to rise black people up from the ashes, but don't compare me with your wicked killers. That's what I said.
So Hitler may have killed 6 million Jews, but his trains ran on time. Is that your point?
Hitler is no friend of black people. If Hitler had his way, he would have killed all black people also.
All right, so you condemn Hitler.
I could not be laudatory of Hitler. I just made a statement of fact.
Yeah, but... No, you can't call a person great and then step forward after the fact and claim that that's not that you were misunderstood.
Sorry, Mr. Donahue, but the Bible calls Babylon great, but Babylon wasn't good.
Okay, all right.
Pharaoh was great, but he wasn't good.
There's something...
Hitler is a great and consequential man, but not a good man. That's all.
So he didn't mean it that Hitler was great as in a good person, but he said a great man, meaning powerful. What do we say about Alexander? Alexander the Great. Do you know how many people Alexander the Great, in quotation marks, conquered and killed? He was not a great man in terms of a good man. We look at people that have conquered nations and have dominated civilizations as great. So why are we selective with who we're calling great and who is not great? You know what I mean?
No, I agree. But
the Jews are now amongst the Anglos. They all won now. One time.
No, I mean, but they are. But yeah, they weren't. But the thing is, I keep on stressing to people, Judaism is a religion. It is not a race. It is a religion, meaning you have white Jews, you have black Jews, you have Hispanic Jews, you have Indian Jews. You have Jews all over the place.
I see black Jews, they be sending me. I just be looking like, what's going on? Especially if they got the hats and things. And that shit sends me. I just want to know what's going on. But you can finish. Go ahead. I just y'all.
It's a religion. It's a religion at the end of the day. And the funny thing is, if this podcast were to ever take off, this episode right here, people would probably call us anti-Semitic because we're commenting on the matter. And the thing is, you should be able to comment. You said what?
Told them to say what they want. And we're not apologizing.
Nope.
Just in case you hear it later. We are not an apologizing podcast. Next week, we keeping the same energy. What's up?
Exactly. Hey, sidebar. Right. Hey, Jay Stokes, can you confirm this is true? That when Kanye said he's running for president, George Bush says Kanye West do not care about black people. Is that true? He tweeted that?
That sounds like a lie.
Nah, he ain't giving up like that.
That's
You're
hold
too
on. Let me
old.
play. No.
Black people been
That's a
on a
joke?
rampage lately too.
Yeah, that's a joke.
That was a good one though. I'm
What do you
looking
say,
at it
Chloe?
like,
No, I said black people been on a rampage lately. Like George Bush don't want that type of heat. You can't say nothing
Oh,
about us
definitely.
right now. We
yeah,
ain't
listen,
for it.
Kanye don't care about black. Kanye don't care about nobody but
Kanye
himself.
cares about Kanye. Yeah, Kanye used to care about black people. Used to.
Yeah, too.
Did he
started getting
ever?
reckless.
Did he
That's true,
ever?
too.
Yeah, that's in question because I feel like being a black man is kind of weird for you to just wake up one day and stops. Maybe you never really did. I can't call it. I don't know. I know he crazy as a bedbug. That's what I do know. So it could be like the mental health playing a part. I don't really know.
Yeah, did they ever
Yes.
think that they made him crazy?
What, the fame?
The family.
Possibly.
They don't
The family that we won't
acknowledge
speak of.
That family
That's
does
crazy.
not acknowledge the damage that they do. They don't. They
Nah, they
refuse.
Yes, we'll leave it at that family. That family.
Yes, that family.
But speaking of families, and this will be the last topic of tonight, unless y'all have anything else to add, Education Secretary Betsy DeVos said that we are going to have to reopen schools come this fall,
You're
no
kidding,
matter what,
right?
even if coronavirus is still out there. And I know this is going to have a big impact on families out there. I think it's horrible. Betsy DeVos also said that trying to do like the kids in school at a time, like putting them piece by piece at a time, is not good. Like she said that these students have fallen behind in their education and they must go back to school. So I wanted to know what y'all think about that, how you think this is going to impact families.
Well, how are they falling behind? That's my question. Because if you think about it, aren't they learning the same curriculum? It's just the teachers and teaching them. I mean, shit,
Right.
the teachers actually grading them. So how they falling behind, number one? And number two, I just feel like ever since Dr. Oz said that dumbass 3% mortality rate is okay.
I tell you, schools are a very appetizing opportunity. I just saw a nice piece in The Lancet arguing that the opening of schools may only cost us 2 to 3% in terms of total mortality. And, you know, that's any life is a life lost. But to get every child back into a school where they're safely being educated, being fed, and making the most out of their lives with a theoretical risk in the backside, it might be a trade-off some folks would consider.
I think they're okay with that. Like, I think they're okay with 3%. Like, yo, is that 3? That's 3% of my kids. Like, no. Are your
It'll
kids
be
going
our
to school?
kids the most
Like,
affected.
Bessie don't got
You know
no
that.
kids.
Right.
Our
Bessie
kids
doesn't
are
have kids?
affected.
Well, I don't.
Bessie doesn't have kids?
She probably got like she probably got she probably got grandkids. So there you go. I don't know anything about Betsy. I just know Betsy is the same lady that denied 99% of forgiveness loans, and I was real upset with that last year. Like, how you going to deny 99%?
Because I wanted mine
99%.
forgiven.
99% of
Because they're
forgiveness
trying to
loans.
keep us at the bottom. They're trying to keep us at the bottom. We go over here trying to better ourselves to get an education, take out loans, and now you're trapped for the rest of your life. But I found out she does have 4 kids.
Okay, she do. Okay, I bet you. You know what? I
They're
bet
probably
you
not
them 4
school age
kids.
though, so they're not
Yeah.
in jeopardy of contacting corona in school. They're probably
Obviously.
older children. You know.
Listen,
I don't
it's
know.
all
I
said
feel
and
like
done.
I don't think my kid's gonna go back. I think I did a really good job last school year, and I'm willing to do it again. It was a little stressful, but at the end of the day, I was proud of myself. Like I did.
Listen, you know what the
So I can
problem
do it
is,
again
though?
if I
You know
need
what the
to.
problem is? No, you're right. You know what? I'm pretty sure you can, baby girl. The problem is with our President Trump, the guy believes that 98% of coronaviruses are harmless. Like, how's that possible? 99%?
The mortality rate is kind of high for something that's harmless, isn't it?
He said 99% of COVID cases are harmless.
Yeah, that don't
Like,
match up with the
that
numbers.
alone. And
I
then
see
now the
numbers.
new slogan, and the new slogan is we got to live with it. That's his new slogan.
Nah, fam.
That's his new slogan. We
But you know, that's
have
that
to live
English
with
shit.
it.
They're nasty like that. They don't mind being around diseases. They don't care like that. Like that's
Yeah.
their shit. That's why it's always, you know, the Black Plague and this thing. It's always with the Anglos, man. That's how they operate. They're cool with that. That's that barbaric mentality. I ain't with
Yeah.
that. Sorry.
They're definitely acting like they don't care. Like, dude,
Well,
he's
barbaric.
over it. He's
If
over
you
it.
do look
He's
throughout
over the
history, African civilizations or people that are from the African diaspora have taught everybody else in the world how to bathe and wash and take care of themselves properly. So
Get
Watch
into
their
it
feet.
and to
Corey
tell them to
has
stop
point.
eating people. Stop eating people.
yeah.
Nasty old carnivores.
And
Stop
animals,
eating
too.
people.
Eating animals with
It happens
Animals like
sex with
bats.
animals.
Oh,
Control
yeah, that's another
yourself.
story. Yeah.
They foul. They foul. The Anglos are foul. So I'm not really surprised that they are willing to sacrifice our children, because our children are the ones that are in the classrooms 25-to-1 ratio.
25 to 1.
They're going to be at higher risk to contract it anyway. Like, they're always willing to put us on the front line. I'm good. You can put mine up there. They don't get it under control. We'll be right at the house.
Yep.
No, exactly. And only going to take is one kid to get it. They're going to shut shit down again. So how about we?
Yeah, they're talking about they're going to practice. They're talking about they're going to practice social distancing at school. Have you been around kids?
No.
Like, really?
No such thing as social distancing.
Did I hear the news today how the CDC has to now go back and revise their strategy for school because President Trump said that it was too harsh?
And now for a quick commercial break.
Hey guys, as you can hear, we are unapologetic in our opinions. We may be politically incorrect or possibly wrong, but don't knock us for being ourselves and saying what many are too afraid to admit out loud. Anyways, if you have any thoughts or questions about our show, email us at chemistryproductions@gmail.com. That's K3MISTRY productions@gmail.com. We'll be sure to address whatever you have to say.
Too harsh. So
but
now
he's
they have
doing
to go
that.
back.
He's trying to
come back next
week. It's the white supremacists that are out there. You better open up the school. You better open up the school.
Well, they can go
they
back
don't
to
raise
school.
Their kids.
They can go back to school. They could go. They could go. They could go right ahead.
They're not used to raising their children.
Yo, listen, I have
facts.
I have a problem
because they're so busy trying to pursue a career.
Listen, I have a problem with the CDC changing that.
Some Jamaican woman with no papers raising their damn kids. They don't raise their own kids. That's what all this fuss is about. Open a school. Relax.
Yo, and Random, I'm with you on that too. The CDC shouldn't be changing based off of somebody who is not educated or has no scientific background.
That's correct.
Hey, check this out. Dr. Fauci, today, the coronavirus, what the hell you call them? The Corona Task Force, they had a briefing today, and Fauci wasn't there. You know why? Because Fauci and Trump, they beefing now. Because Trump doesn't agree with, Trump doesn't agree with what Fauci's saying. So now,
Fauci's just trying to keep it real.
Fauci was the only one that wasn't there. Fauci had to be on call at the White House. I'm like, really? The task force is actually doing a briefing, and the main person who's actually speaking up for the people, he on a phone call. I'm like, this shit's a joke.
It is. But I mean, they should know better than to listen to somebody who could say, oh, well, just swallow some disinfectant. Motherfucker don't care about you.
Right.
Disinfectant or put some light on you. Like, what?
Yeah,
like, you the main one that said in the summertime it's going to go away.
Remember I told you it was a lie back in the winter? We'll be lying.
Listen. The winter coming. Yo, what are you going to do now?
Winter coming and it's coming again. Corona 2.0 about to pop out. Come on, going down. I'm being out. I'm going to be really quarantined this time, though.
Okay. Well, Corey, the weather gonna be colder, so I understand that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I said I'm really gonna do it this time, y'all.
Everybody gonna be cuffing season in the wintertime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Y'all saw what happened in Michigan? Yo, they just can't wait. Like you saw, like Michigan, they wilded out over the weekend. They had a big party, and in London, they had something called Brew. It was like a brew fest. And you saw how many people out in London with no mask on. It was nerve-wracking. Like, I don't get it.
I mean, everyone
if they want to die, they can die.
No mask.
I just don't understand. What you say, Jason?
Yeah, when I go to the beach and stuff, nobody's don't wear no mask. Nobody.
That's what I'm saying.
I said, if people want to die, they can die. Like, that's my thing. The problem is, because coronavirus, you can be asymptomatic, you can spread it to other people. That's the problem I really have. I really wish that there was a way, if people want to go and exercise their free rights, go ahead. But when you get hit with the consequences, only you suffer. The problem is you can make other people suffer as a consequence.
Right. Being asymptomatic, you run into somebody that should take them out, and you're the reason. So, yeah, I get it.
Exactly.
Hey, real quick, before we end the show, I just like to give a shout out to the bird watcher's sister. What's his name? Cooper. Last name Cooper. It was the sister.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
We really got to go to that. So Christian Cooper. It came out today that they were going to press charges against Amy Cooper for her calling the cops being a hate crime. They were going to make it a hate crime. And Christian Cooper is not cooperating with the authorities. The black guy that she called the cops on, he's not cooperating with the authorities in order to get her in trouble. And people are like, see, if it wasn't for his sister releasing that recording of Amy Cooper, the white woman, going at him, then the world would have never known, and she probably would have terrorized another black person that was out in the park. So his sister is the real hero in this story.
Yes.
Yeah, he's coming off like a sucker to me.
Nah, he coming off like a Uncle Tom, man. Like what?
Jigaboo. He sound like one.
Yeah, like.
But
dude,
I mean,
listen,
y'all didn't see it
through.
coming. Y'all didn't see this coming though, because when they did the interview of him in the first place, he was talking about he didn't want any harm to come to Amy Cooper. So,
but
like,
she want harm to come to you, then care what's going to happen to you once NYPD come there. NYPD is like so racist. It's just as bad as LAPD. That could have been your last day, but you feel bad for her. Get out of here.
And that is this as Joy DeGruy, and I think everybody should check out this woman. Her name is Joy DeGruy. She came up with this term called post-traumatic slavery disorder. And basically, post-traumatic slavery disorder is that black people, because of the slave trade and everything that came with it, we are just docile and we just listen to anything white people tell us, and we don't want any harm to come to white people because we just feel like they're our gods, they're our masters. We're still suffering from slavery.
That's a real thing for some black people. They really will. Like where I work, I tell you all the time. I say something, they got a second guess it, third guess it. White woman come in, they ask her opinion. It's right now. But I done said the same shit 15 minutes ago, 17 different ways.
Oh, don't you hate that?
Yeah, they do it all the time. That's a real thing. I never even heard of that, but it's real and it's true. Like, especially foreign, like Jamaicans, Haitians, they like, what? You can't tell them a white man ain't got kissing their ass, but then they treat the slave descendants like, oh, y'all need to do better. Y'all need to do this. Y'all need to do that. Get your ass out of here. You don't know half of what we need to do, been doing, or whatever else. But
yes. So her name is Dr. Joy DeGruy. Her last name is Degruy. She came up with post-traumatic slavery symptom, post-traumatic slave syndrome or post-traumatic slave disorder. She came up with that term. And like Koya was saying, it's because of that we get these interactions where black people aren't taken seriously. Even though you may have all the facts and you may know what you're talking about, you still won't be taken seriously. But if a white person says it, oh, they're right.
Yep, it's law now because they said it. Get your ass out of here. I don't trust them. So what they say, I damn sure ain't listening to. I need to find my own proof.
Yeah, they getting side-eye.
I think I trust an Asian man before I trust a white man. I don't mess with white people like that. They ain't trustworthy. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, I understand. And one thing I gotta say about y'all, I definitely applaud y'all. Y'all been like this from day one. It didn't take any murders of unarmed black people to get y'all to be speaking and be vocal about this. Like y'all been like this from day one, and I like that because a lot of people.
My mama.
Yep.
Jay Random's mama too.
What's up?
Because a lot of people, they'll jump on this bandwagon and it's only going to last for a short period of time. They're going to try and profit off of black suffrage and oppression, or they'll try and jump on the bandwagon and say Black Lives Matter for like 2 seconds. Then they'll go right back to what they were doing. So I definitely applaud y'all for being on code and being about it. And hey, let's just keep being that way.
Yo,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And shout out to Coon Cruz. Keep up the cooning.
Oh Lord, I love everybody named Chris too, y'all. But he be making me sick. Like
shout out to Coon Cruz.
Oh my God,
Coon Cruz.
Yeah, listen. I think he's been messed up ever since White Chicks. To be honest, that's a thing.
That white man molested.
He don't even look intimidating no more when he talks.
Yeah, it's something they do to you in Hollywood. Terry, I'm not gonna personally attack you, but man, please get it together, please, because you don't want to get enemy out your.
Shout out Coon Cruz.
It's been real. Thanks for a good convo. We will be in talks next week.
No doubt.
Sounds good.
Take it easy, everyone.
All right, guys. See y'all later.
So go a little something like this. That's